A lot of trial and error went into this trap, but I finally got ya. Years ago, somebody got this as a gift for the girls, just some chocolate bunnies in a cool little container. And when I first saw it, I thought, mousetrap. But of course, the girls wanted to play with it. Now they're older, they don't want it, so it's mine. I'm about to add way more protein to these nutrition facts. I'm going to take away that plastic window just because of the way I want this door mechanism to work. And you can see it already comes with one little magnet holding it closed, but that's not going to be enough to keep the mice in. So I'm going to take off some of the decorative bits, fix up the frame a little bit with some hot glue, take out the plastic window and use it as a template on some matching mesh that I happen to have in my basement anyway. Perfect sizing and perfect fit. Looks like it always belonged there. The side benefit to having a mesh bottom on the trap is that when they poop and pee, it just leaves the trap. Now that was the easy part. Figuring out how the triggering mechanism is going to work and how the door is going to stay shut is the hardest part. So what I'm going to do for the triggering mechanism, I'm just going to cut off the top of a juice bottle, make sure it's as flush as can be. Then I drilled a hole straight through from the top to the bottom of the opening of the juice bottle. And I'll just put a wire in here just to show you that there's the hole there. After I hot glue that in, really what's going to happen is there's going to be a thread that goes through the top to the bottom, and the mouse has to chew through that to release the door. I put a little metal bar here. It's not absolutely necessary, but it acts kind of like a fulcrum for the string to go around and adds a bit of leverage. Just secured it with some wire, and now to work on the door. I did have some trial and error with the door and also the mechanisms to keep the door up. So there was already a magnet there, so I decided to add a couple more magnets and just a couple more metal plates for the magnets to stick to. But unfortunately that didn't work. Later on I'll show you what I did to correct it. Now the filming of this is all out of order, but you'll get the gist of how you set the trap and how it works. So first you have your kind of trigger stick, and I decided to use a little bit of a just stiff metal wire. Tie the string around it, and you got to slip it through both holes. Then you're going to grab that string and pull it up so that it is tight, and then wrap it around that little screw that I put on the bottom, and that's it. And that's how the trap is set. Now before, the trap was set a little bit too low in the first capture videos you're going to see, so it did not have enough leverage for that door to close. The second thing that I made improvements on were I put those little nuts. I just hot glued those metal nuts on there to give the door a little bit more weight so that it'll close. And so what the mouse should do is come in there, see the seeds, chew on the string, and then boom, the door will close. But of course that doesn't happen the first few times I try out this trap. And after I put the seeds in, you'll see how low slung that door is. I used a little rubber washer there instead of that metal wire on the bottom, and that's how the door was hanging. So it did not work really well, as you'll see in the next failed capture clips. So you'll see the mouse come in here, and it works according to plan. It comes in, it starts to chew on the string, and then the door does not fully snap shut. The mouse can get out. Interesting thing is, I thought the mouse would just go in there and pillage all the seeds, but it actually had a hard time in figuring out how to get back in there. I did add the nuts on the second attempt, but the door was still too low and it didn't have enough momentum to fully shut for some reason. There was enough of a little gap at the bottom that they could figure out that there is a little exit there. Well, back to the drawing board. Really basic final mods to lift it up a little higher instead of where it was below was to add that little steel bar instead of the rubber washer to hold the trap in place. Have those weights there, and I used some screws for the capture of the magnets on the bottom there instead of metal plates, and that seemed to work really well. And here's the final capture. Worked like a charm. Door shut, can't figure its way out. The interesting part about this mesh trap is that, you know, it's looking for the most obvious exits, and that's through the mesh. and not looking to push through the door a little bit harder or anything like that. Also, you'll see the timestamp. It's inaccurate. It's the wrong date, but the time is around midnight, and you'll see this mouse is probably the most persistent mouse I've ever seen. It kept going and going and going hour after hour for about 6 hours total of trying to get out. So kudos to it and its efforts. And if you like this video, please check out some of my other videos. I'll leave a playlist in the top right hand corner of the other mouse traps that I've made. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next Ladybug adventure. And I don't even know what the next adventure will be, but rest assured, if you subscribe, keep following me, you'll see so many different types of videos, and I hope you enjoy.